All right, so get this. We're diving into Onyxcoin today and its price action. It's been pretty wild recently. You want to know what's driving this surge and, if it's got legs. We've got articles from all over the crypto world here. CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, CoinSpeaker, even Onyx's own website. And they're all buzzing about the same thing. XCN, up over 1,500% in the last 30 days. Meanwhile, Bitcoin and
most other cryptos are basically flatlining.
Yeah, it's a fascinating divergence, isn't it? What jumps out at me is the launch of their Layer 3 blockchain, the Onyx XCN ledger. This seems to be a major catalyst.
No, I know we've talked about Layer 1 and Layer 2 blockchains before, but Layer 3, that's a whole new level. Can you unpack that for me?
Absolutely. You're right. We're familiar with Layer 1s like Bitcoin and Ethereum, the foundation of the blockchain world. Then we saw the rise of Layer 2 solutions like Arbitrum and Optimism, designed to address scalability issues and make transactions faster and cheaper on those foundational chains. Now Layer 3s are emerging, built on top of Layer 2s, taking that scalability concept even further. So instead of just adding lanes to the highway, we're building a whole new expressway on top of the existing one.
That's a great analogy, but it goes beyond just adding capacity. Layer 3s, like the XCN ledger, they're tackling some really complex technical challenges. Think sharding, where the blockchain is broken down into smaller, more manageable pieces to process transactions in parallel. Or state channels, which allow for off-chain transactions that are only settled on the main chain when needed. These innovations aim to drastically increase throughput and lower transaction costs.
So it sounds like we're talking about a potential game changer for the whole blockchain ecosystem. But let's get specific. Where does the Onyx XCN ledger fit into all of this?
Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. The XCN ledger is built on Arbitrum Orbit, which itself is a Layer 2 solution built on Ethereum. But they've added another layer of security by integrating with Coinbase's Layer 2 chain. Base. It's a multi-layered architecture designed for maximum efficiency and security.
This triple-decker blockchain sandwich is making me hungry. But jokes aside, this seems pretty innovative. And they're using XCN as the native gas token for the XCN ledger, right?
Exactly. Every transaction on the XCN ledger requires XCN to fuel it, just like ETH is used for gas on Ethereum. But there's a twist. They've integrated EIP 1559.
Now, that rings a bell. Didn't Ethereum implement that a while back? What's the significance here?
That's right. EIP 1559 was a major upgrade for Ethereum. And by incorporating it into the XCN ledger, Onyx introduces a deflationary mechanism. A portion of XCN used for gas fees is burned, permanently removed from circulation. With every single transaction, this constantly decreases the supply of XCN.
That's a pretty powerful concept. It creates scarcity and could theoretically drive up the price of XCN as demand increases.
Precisely. That's one of the key factors driving the current excitement around XCN, but it's not the only one.
Right. You mentioned something earlier about a dispute involving Onyx. It sounds like that had a significant impact on XCN's adoption before it was resolved.
Yes, that was a critical hurdle for Onyx. There was a major clash with Justin Sun's companies over control and direction. This created uncertainty and hampered XCN's potential, but the fact that they managed to reach a resolution is huge.
So what were the sticking points, and what does this resolution actually mean for Onyx moving forward?
Well, the details of the dispute were pretty complex, but essentially it boiled down to disagreements over governance, intellectual property rights, and future development of the Onyx platform. This created a cloud of uncertainty, making it difficult for developers and users to fully embrace XCN. The resolution, however, removes those roadblocks and paves the way for potential collaborations and integrations with other projects, including those within Justin Sun's ecosystem.
That's fascinating. A dispute that could have been disastrous turned into a potential catalyst for growth. It's like they turned lemons into lemonade, blockchain style. So with all that drama behind them, what's the outlook for XCN now? It sounds like it has a lot going for it.
Indeed it does. The resolution clears the path for wider adoption. And the deflationary pressure from the token burn mechanism creates a compelling narrative for potential investors.
That's definitely painting a rosy picture. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's break down exactly what XCN is used for within the Onyx ecosystem. You've mentioned gas fees, but is that all?
It goes beyond just gas. Remember, XCN is a utility token with multiple roles. It's used for governance, giving token holders voting rights on proposals that shape the future of the Onyx platform. It's also used to pay for services within the Onyx ecosystem, and of course for staking to earn rewards.
So it's not just some speculative token, it actually has real utility within the Onyx ecosystem. That's good to know. Some of these articles I've been reading, they mentioned some pretty wild price predictions for XCN. One even suggested it could 10x from here. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's important to approach those predictions with a healthy dose of skepticism. While XCN has certainly garnered a lot of attention, and its price has seen a significant surge, cryptocurrency markets, they are inherently volatile.
So you're saying we shouldn't be planning our early retirement based on those price predictions just yet?
Exactly. Remember, those predictions are based on a variety of factors and assumptions. And the crypto landscape, it's constantly changing. While the potential for growth is definitely there, it's crucial to consider both the upside and the downside.
That makes sense. So what are some of the factors that could really propel XCN forward? Aside from the price predictions, what would make this more than just a temporary hype cycle?
One crucial element is adoption. The more developers build on the XCN ledger, and the more users utilize the Onyx platform, the stronger XCN's position becomes. A thriving ecosystem is key for any cryptocurrency to succeed long-term.
So it's not just about the tech, it's about the community and the use cases that are built around it.
Precisely. And let's not forget about those token burns we discussed earlier. As the XCN ledger sees more activity, the supply of XCN will continue to shrink, potentially creating upward pressure on the price.
Right. That built-in scarcity could be a major driver. And what about partnerships? We talked about the resolution with Justin Sun's companies. Could that lead to more collaborations that benefit XCN?
Absolutely. That resolution opens doors to potential integrations and partnerships that could significantly expand XCN's reach and utility. Imagine XCN being integrated into other DeFi platforms, or even used for payments in online games or virtual worlds. The possibilities are vast.
It's amazing to think about the potential ripple effects of that resolution. It's not just about Onyx anymore. It's about how XCN can integrate into the broader blockchain ecosystem.
That's a key insight. The crypto space is all about interconnectedness. A rising tide can lift all boats, and strategic partnerships can create a powerful network effect.
Speaking of interconnectedness, you mentioned earlier that the XCN ledger is built on Arbitrum, which itself is built on Ethereum. Does that mean XCN is tied to the overall performance of Ethereum?
That's a great question. While the XCN ledger leverages the security and infrastructure of Ethereum through Arbitrum, it operates as an independent Layer 3 chain. This means it can benefit from Ethereum's stability and network effects, while also innovating and evolving at its own pace.
So it's kind of like having the best of both worlds. It's connected to the largest smart contract platform, but also has the flexibility to forge its own path.
Exactly. This hybrid approach allows XCN to tap into the existing Ethereum ecosystem, while also differentiating itself with unique features and capabilities, like the deflationary token burn mechanism.
That makes a lot of sense. So we've got this innovative technology, a growing ecosystem, a deflationary token model, and the potential for exciting partnerships. But let's be real, a lot of people are wondering if XCN is a good investment. What can you tell us about its current price performance?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, XCN has seen an incredible surge in recent weeks, climbing back into the top 100 cryptocurrencies by market cap. It's currently trading significantly higher than its previous all-time high.
That's pretty impressive, especially considering the overall market conditions. But can it sustain this momentum? Or are we looking at a potential correction?
It's impossible to predict the future with certainty, but a few factors could influence XCN's price trajectory. The overall market sentiment plays a role, of course. If Bitcoin experiences a major downturn, it's likely to drag down the entire market, including XCN. However, if the broader market remains bullish or even enters a new bull cycle, XCN could continue its upward trend.
So external factors are definitely at play. What about internal factors? Are there any developments within the Onyx ecosystem that could impact XCN's price?
One development worth noting is that the Onyx DAO, they're actively discussing a potential token burn event.
A token burn. We talked about the burn mechanism built into the transaction fees, but this sounds like something more significant.
Yes, this would be a one-time event where a significant portion of the existing XCN supply would be permanently destroyed.
Wow, that's a bold move. Why would they consider doing that?
There are a few reasons. Firstly, it would further reduce the circulating supply of XCN, potentially driving up its scarcity and value. Secondly, it demonstrates the DAO's commitment to long-term value creation for XCN holders.
It's a strong signal to the market that they believe in the future of XCN, but wouldn't a massive token burn also make XCN more expensive to use for transactions? Wouldn't that hinder the adoption we were talking about earlier?
That's a valid concern, and it's something the DAO is carefully considering. They need to strike a balance between scarcity and utility. If XCN becomes too expensive to use, it could deter users and developers from engaging with the platform.
So it's a delicate balancing act. They need to find that sweet spot where scarcity drives value without sacrificing accessibility.
Exactly. And the fact that they're having these discussions openly and transparently is a positive sign. It shows they're committed to making informed decisions that benefit the entire Onyx community.
Transparency and community involvement are definitely crucial in the crypto space. It builds trust and fosters a sense of shared ownership. But let's be honest, a lot of listeners are probably wondering, should I buy XCN? Is it a good investment?
Well, we can't offer financial advice. The decision of whether or not to invest in any cryptocurrency is a personal one. That should be based on individual circumstances, risk tolerance, and thorough research.
That's the responsible disclaimer. But what we can do is provide our listeners with the information they need to make informed decisions. We've covered a lot of ground today. XCN's price surge, the launch of the XCN ledger, the resolution with Justin Sun, the potential token burn, and the broader implications of Layer 3 technology. It's a lot to process.
It is, but it's all incredibly important for understanding the potential of Onyxcoin and its place in the evolving blockchain landscape.
Absolutely. But before we wrap things up, I want to shift gears for a moment and talk about a bigger picture. We've been focused on XCN and the Onyx ecosystem, but what about the potential impact of Layer 3 technology on the wider blockchain world?
Yes. Zooming out is crucial. We've been deep in the XCN forest. But now it's time to step back and look at the entire blockchain landscape.
It really feels like we're at a tipping point. If even a fraction of what we've discussed today comes to fruition, the implications are huge.
I think you're right. And it's not just about the technology itself. It's about the philosophical shift that blockchain represents, a move towards decentralization, transparency, and user empowerment.
It's like the internet all over again. We're still in those early Wild West days. But the potential is undeniable.
And just like the internet revolutionized the way we communicate and access information, blockchain has the potential to revolutionize the way we transact, create, and interact in the digital world.
It's almost overwhelming to think about all the possibilities, but it's also incredibly exciting.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember that this is an ongoing evolution. Layer 3 technology is still in its infancy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and unexpected innovations along the way.
That's what makes it so fascinating to follow. It's a constantly unfolding story.
And Onyxcoin, with its innovative XCN ledger and ambitious vision, is certainly a key player in this narrative. Whether it succeeds in becoming a major force in the Layer 3 space remains to be seen, but it's definitely a project worth watching.
So to our listener who wanted to understand what's behind XCN's recent price surge and whether its momentum is sustainable, I think we've given them plenty to chew on.
I hope so. We've explored the technological advancements, the potential use cases, the risks and rewards, and the broader context of this exciting and rapidly evolving space.
And perhaps most importantly, we've encouraged them to continue their own exploration and stay curious about the possibilities that lie ahead, because that's what this is all about. Discovery, innovation, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Well said. The future of blockchain is being written right now, and we're all invited to participate.
That's a wrap on this deep dive into Onyxcoin and the XCN ledger. Thanks for joining us on this journey.
Until next time, keep exploring.